I can't even remember where I left off, but I'll give it a good try. So, pretty sure I was in Helsinki still, and well, I was in Finland, and my guide Mina was driving me back from the island adventures, and we had enough time just to kind of tootle around. We were going to visit her house, but we didn't. We went to the farm where the farmers market provided some of our food. So I got to see the farm, and I got to see these young kids or young adults having summer jobs, working on a farm, getting all excited, putting on their little collection outfits, and headed off into the fields to collect something. I have no idea. Blueberries. Let's just say it was blueberries. Um, so we also had a choice of some things and adapted on the fly, which was really fun, road trip style for me. And she gave me the option of, I kept saying, I don't know what a estate house. There was some term that Casper and everyone used. It was like their large house that they lived in, and I was like, I don't know. I don't have a picture in my head what that is. And she's like, oh, it's like it's on it's on a larger chunk of property and it's a larger house. And I was like, yeah, but that again, like they had a very specific thing in their mind, and I didn't know what that was. And so I'd sort of been asking about that, and she said, oh, I know of one on the way to the airport. And so we were about to go there, and then at the very last minute, she was like, how about architecture? Are you into art? Finnish architecture. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. She's like, there's this kind of castle like community where a bunch of architects, I don't remember the era, I'll have to look it up, but the architects were the Finnish style, and the Finnish culture has lots of homage to the earth. And so there's all these like Frank Lloyd Wright esque, you know, things that happen in architecture there that probably predate Frank Lloyd Wright, but basically it's just designing with nature in mind and paying homage to the nature around them. And so she mentioned this architect, and this architect had created a bit of a commune, like was an inspirational leader architect, and had enough money and backing that they acquired some land and sort of created a, not, it's almost like a village. It's like this architect and maybe 5 or 6 other architects all moved over to this area, and the main architect built on sort of like the top of the hill, and he built like a castle style place. It wasn't really a castle because there was no military purpose for it whatsoever. It was really just a place that sit on the hill and overlooked the surrounding areas, and these other people built around it. So anyway, we went there. I chose that. It sounded like way more interesting to me, and we had just enough time. We barely made it to the airport, but it all worked out. And wandered around that property, took a bunch of pictures. Nothing was open. I don't know why. It was like under construction or something bizarre. Um, but that was cool. And said my goodbye to Mina, and I just felt like I was not really saying goodbye. It was more like, I'll see you soon. And had the same feeling with Casper earlier in the day when I said goodbye to him. And the three of us, Casper, Mina, and I, sort of all, I think, had the same vibe of like, this is not really goodbye. This is just like until next time. And you say that all the time, but sometimes it feels a little more like it's real than other times. So the drop off at the airport was fine. I was not super sad. I was actually ready for the next adventure. I had no idea what Zurich was going to like really be about. I kind of looked forward to the flight. It was across, I think, Poland. Well, first the Baltic Sea, and then who knows what I was flying over for a while, and then Poland, like probably Lithuania or something like that, and then Poland and Germany, and then maybe a bit of France, and eventually Switzerland. So I was looking out the window the whole time, anytime I could, to see what I could see, and most of it was open water for a while, and then fields, lots of fields in Poland, and then I started to see little villages, and you could sort of tell, like the little centroid shape of like a village, and roads all coming into it, and then like nothing for a while. So that was pretty cool. A flyover, and then landed in Zurich, and I had to figure it out as usual, I had to figure out metro stuff. So like transfer from the train station to the tram and then get over to where my Airbnb was. And all the while trying to communicate with Claire and Andrew and let them know that I was now in Zurich, because this is where I started to meet friends. And so we agreed to meet pretty quickly. They had been at a spa, which I'll tell you about in a minute, but they had been enjoying some time in a spa in Zurich. And we agreed to meet at a restaurant, a Spanish tapas place, and just catch up, have some food, and make plans for the next day. And by then it was like 8 at night, maybe 9 at night in Zurich. And where we met was like 3 blocks from my place and 2 blocks from their place. And we left the tapas place and it was raining, cats and dogs. So we said quick goodnights and headed off. And I'll pick it up from there.